everybody, and welcome back to the Crystal Spirit Sparkle channel here on YouTube. Today it's time for another episode of the Deck Dates where we take a look and try out randomly selected tarot and oracle deck combinations. And today we are going to take a look at the Aquarian Tarot combined or paired with the Soul's Journey lesson cards. These are the German speaking version, but I know that there are also mass market available in English. Because this was the pair that we randomly drew last week on last episode, and today I wanted to talk about how these two decks worked together because I worked with them for 1 week right now and tried different things. So I did my daily messages with them, my daily draw, where I shuffled or picked one of the tarot cards and one from the oracle. I did my weekly reading with these two decks as well, and I tried out some other stuff, some different readings, some different things that I can combine these two together just to see how these two work together and if they're compatible or not. And I have to say, these two decks were both decks that got a second chance in my deck collection, so to speak, because they both have something that I'm really drawn to and that I like. But on the other hand, I wasn't really drawn to using them for a long period of time. This was one of my first Oracle decks, if not the first Oracle deck that I got. And this is actually a 1970s edition of the Aquarian Tarot that I got on eBay. So I loved this deck. I loved working with it for quite some time. But then there was a phase where I wasn't drawn to it anymore, and I thought, well, that chapter I needed this deck was over, and so I'm fine letting it go now because I'm not drawn to use it. Same with this. I kind of liked it, and I liked working with it, but when I put it on the shelf to use another tarot deck, I wasn't really drawn to pull this out again. But both, now I'm glad that I decided otherwise and put them back into my collection from the shelf where they were, or where I have all the decks that I decided to part with, because in combination I really love them. And I don't know why I haven't thought about this before to combine these two decks, because even though at first glance they might look not really similar, but they feel really similar in a way, at least for me, because they're both pretty simple. I mean, the Aquarian Tarot, you don't have a lot of super detailed images with 1,000 things and symbols in them, and where you really need to look and find what is hidden in the image, because there are 1,000 little things and stuff in it. It's a pretty clear a pretty clear art style and a pretty simple art style, as you can see here. And in most of the cards, the backgrounds aren't even colored in, they're just plain white. So it has a feeling of clarity, of simplifying things, of simple but effective answers. And that is what it reads like. And with the Journey, Soul's Journey lesson cards, it's the same in a way, because you have one keyword, a little sentence that goes along with it. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I ignore it. And in terms of imagery, you have these mandalas that kind of get the feeling across in terms of the colors that were used, in terms of the shapes that were used. So they really depict in a way and fit the keyword that are used for or that they were drawn for, but it's just mandalas. You don't have a real scene where humans interact with each other or where you have a lot of details hidden. So in a way, this also feels like clear, simple, direct, and it gets the message across. And it's quite easy to get a message because it is so clearly and simple depicted in a way. I hope you know what I mean. And so these two really fit well together. And I have the same experience while I work with these two together in my daily readings, in my week ahead reading and stuff. So I'm guessing I start to flip through, but not only in the terms of energy and how they read for me, but also in the terms of the messages. They really fit well together in terms of messages. So this is not planned. I don't have ordered these cards in a way that I think will fit the messages together. I just have pulled these decks out of their box and laid them on there so that you have something to look at. And we have completely randomly the Five of Pentacles and sorrow or worries. So how fitting is this in a way? We have the Nine of Cups and forgiveness. And that is a really deep message. I mean, when are you really able to get in this kind of emotional, happy, satisfied kind of state where you are fulfilled in a way and you are happy with yourself and you can enjoy yourself and the life that you are in? It is when you start forgiving what was in the past, let go of that, and it is when you start forgiving yourself sometimes as well. And I also love how the colors are matching each other sometimes. So the orange of his hat is actually in this card. And sometimes that gives some interesting messages as well. So here we have this little bit of pale pink, and we have the pale pink here in the orb or the sphere that he holds, as well as in the rose. And we have the Two of Rods, where you have these open possibilities and you need to make a decision. You need to start at somewhere, even though when you decide on one option, the other options that you had are, at least for that moment, not necessarily available anymore. But you need to trust. We have trust here. So works perfectly. You have the King of Pentacles and Judgment. The Ten of... Oh, wow. I love this pairing. The Ten of Swords and Growth. That is a really touching and really fitting message that gives you something to think about. The Ten of Swords is often seen as an ending and as an abrupt, sudden ending that probably will hurt. I mean, I don't read it in that way really often because for me the swords is about the mind and our thoughts and our knowledge. And the 10 is the number of completion. It can be an ending because we completed a cycle, so we're at the end of it in a way. but it's not like a person dying here or something like that. Instead, we have grown. We have grown out of our ego and our fears that we have faced and overcome in a way, and now we are free to use our mind in a way that can serve us. And we have learned from our experiences. So I really like this combination. How fitting. The first thing that I thought when I saw these two cards together were how fitting are these in terms of color. We have these oranges even in the title area here, and this card is completely orange as well. And we have the pretty bright orange here and here, and the paler oranges here and here. And this is the Emperor with grief. Really deep message as well. Temperance with regret. That is also, and we also have the color matches here. And in a way, even the pattern a little bit. Just a few more because we need to draw the next random pairing for the upcoming week. Also on this video, and I don't want to these videos to be extremely long, but when we have a fit like this where the deck date that was completely random, it is like a blind date, has been so successful that this is really a match made in heaven. If we stay in these metaphors of date and love and relationship, I just love to see how the cards interact with each other, and I love to show you guys that even with a complete random order of the cards without any topic in mind. We have the Ace of Pentacles and empathy. The Hermit and friendship. I mean, that is an interesting but still fitting combination. I kind of like that. The Chariot and abundance. When we are confident, when we are moving forward into the direction that we want to and that we are destined to in a way, because this is our mission, this is where our heart and our passions lie, then we can create this abundance when we trust in ourselves and take action. So, perfect match with these two cards. So this blind date was really, really successful. I love these two decks together, and I think these two decks will, when I use them, I will use them together because I love the messages that they give when you work with them together in a way. They're amazing. And they really add to each other. So I love that. All right. So now let's draw. Well, I need to lighten or to brighten up my display. Let's draw the tarot card that we will work with, or I will work with, and then talk about it with you guys on the next episode next week. So let's draw the tarot card then, shall we? Let's spin and see. It is the Hidden Realms. That is quite nice. I love this deck. I love the artwork in this deck. So I'm excited to work with it again. I haven't used that for quite a while. So now let's see which oracle deck we use with that tarot. And it is the Owl's Happiness. Oh my gosh. Okay, I will show you guys. I will get the decks and I will show you guys the two decks. I think the Tarot of Hidden Realms probably everybody knows, but the Owl's Happiness is actually a German mass market deck, and I don't think that it's also available in an English-speaking version. I need to research that, or you can research that. But I will show it to you guys. And I don't think that they match quite well because they have really different art styles, a really different color palette, and they feel really different as well for me. So, but let's see, maybe they will surprise us. So, just a moment, I will be right back and show you guys the deck. So here you can see the two decks, and I think now you probably really quickly understand what I meant when I said that I don't think that these decks will be a match in a way, but this will be a blind date that is quite awkward in a sense. But let's just see what will happen. So the Tower of Hidden Realms, it is a more, for me, it feels like fall and autumn, that we are now moving outward into winter times. It is a really earthy deck. It is full of fae. It is like fae themed, but not in a sense of like the tiny little winged beings that are super pretty and super cute and have wings in it. It's like the more grown, powerful Fae energy. And I love the art style. I love to work with this deck, even though it is a little bit different because these are more kind of close-up looks. And it focuses more on the body language and the facial expression and what the person is doing and how it is positioned in a way than like portraying a scene with 2,000 different things happening. The Owl Happiness cards are super colorful. As you can see, it uses a lot of colors in one card. It uses bright colors. It has all these owls in the cards, but not in a kind of earthy, natural, realistic kind of way, but in a more cutesy comic book kind of style, in a really unique art style actually. And it is more of like an affirmation deck, but not completely. So as you can see, there are no keywords, but there are actually sentences or little messages on the cards. But what I like about this deck is, yes, it's leaning more towards the positive, but it's not all like the universe has your back, where every card basically talks about the same thing. Like, the universe is holding you, my dear child, and everything is pretty, and you are completely fine and perfect, and choose love instead of fear, and love is everywhere, and all of that. But it acknowledges the shadow in the positive meanings. So it's not ignoring it. It talks about fear, but that now it's the time to face those fears, and that probably these fears aren't even realistic, and it's not gonna be as bad as you thought it would be. But fear is still in there, and it's not like fear doesn't exist, everything is love, and you're fine, bye. So, and it has really different messages. It's not like with the universe has your back, where you feel like every third card in this deck talks about basically the same thing, just in other words. These are really different. They talk about different things. But as you can see, in terms of coloration, art style, theme, they're really different decks. so I'm not sure how they are going to work together. This is definitely not a deck combination that I would have picked out myself. Like with the Aquarian Tarot and the Soul's Journey lesson cards, I haven't thought about pairing them together, but when I saw the pair, I was like, well, actually, now that I'm seeing it, I would pair them myself as well because I think they fit quite nicely together. With this, I don't thought about pairing them because I didn't just see the pairing that is possible, but because I think they are so different that they won't match at all. But this is the point where the series starts to get exciting, and because this is the point of the series, this is not about deck combinations that I have thought about putting together or that I use together, because I love to have a matching oracle deck for each of the tarot decks that I have, because I love combining these two together in a way. But this is about we draw random combinations to see, even though if probably something would work that at first glance doesn't work at all. And so I'm really excited to see how they work together and if we have a surprise at the end of this week. So, because sometimes that happens as well. So now you guys, it's your guys' turn. I would love to know your thoughts about a pairing from the Aquarian Tarot and the Soul's Journey lesson cards. If you thought that this pairing was made or was a match, or if you have thought that these two won't go together. And if you have used them together as well, if you have both of those decks, what are your experiences with working with them? If you only have one of those decks, do you pair them with a specific oracle deck, and when which one? Or do you pair the Soul's Journey lesson cards with a specific tarot deck? And if so, which one? I would love all of that. And also I would love to hear your thoughts about this pairing. Do you think it will surprise us in the end and will work perfectly together? Do you think that this is a video where we have an awkward blind date that doesn't work at all, and where the two parties in the state are relieved and happy when it's over? I would love to hear your thoughts about that in the comments as well. Also, if you like this video series, if you like this video, please make sure that you hit the like button. It is just 1 click, 1 second for you, but it helps me a lot. First of all, because YouTube only sees YouTube creators and videos and acknowledges those when there is a lot of action on that video, so a lot of clicks, likes, comments, and that stuff. But also it's helpful for me to see what you guys like in terms of content and what formats you like. So maybe I need to do more of those, and what formats you're probably not interested in, so that I can take those out and do something that you like more instead. So that is helpful for me. Also, if you're new on this channel, or you haven't subscribed yet for any reason, please feel free to subscribe. It's 1 click, 1 second. It's completely free for you, but it helps me a lot. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you to all of my subscribers who are still here, who have subscribed in the last days. I'm really happy that you're here with me, that you watch my videos, and that you enjoy my content, and that I can share my thoughts, experiences with you guys. So until next time, have a nice day, have a nice rest of the week, and we will see each other in the next video. Bye!